What if the person you trusted with your heart was secretly rewriting your entire life behind your back? What if the hands you thought would hold you forever were the same hands that pushed you into the darkest chapter of your story? Tonight, you're going to hear a betrayal so sharp, so personal, that it left scars far deeper than any wound could. And if you've ever thought you were safe in love, this story may change the way you see everything. When I first met Emma, she felt like sunlight in human form. She laughed at all the wrong times, tripped over her own words, and could make even silence feel comfortable. People always say you can't truly know a person until years later, but back then, I thought I had found the one. We moved in together after just 8 months, which everyone said was too soon, but it never felt wrong. Our apartment was small, filled with mismatched furniture and takeout boxes, but it felt like ours. It felt like home. The first 2 years passed like a blur of late-night talks, cheap vacations, and shared dreams about the future. We talked about kids, about buying a house, about starting traditions that would be ours forever. She was my safe place in a world that never felt safe. Or at least that's what I thought. The cracks didn't show overnight. They came slowly, like whispers in the dark. A late text she couldn't explain, a laugh that felt forced when I asked where she'd been, a smell of cologne in her hair that wasn't mine. At first, I told myself I was being paranoid. After all, love means trust, right? Love means giving the benefit of the doubt. But one night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to an empty bed. Emma's phone was glowing on the nightstand. I knew I shouldn't look. Every voice in my head told me that trust means privacy. But then the phone buzzed, and the preview of the message was enough to split my chest open. "I can't stop thinking about last night," it read. My hands shook as I opened the thread, and what I found wasn't a single mistake or a drunken lapse. It was months of messages, plans, and words that I thought only belonged to me. The name attached to those messages was the last one I expected to see. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a colleague. It was my brother. The room spun. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. Every message read like a stab, and every word confirmed what my gut had been trying to tell me for weeks. The love of my life and the person who shared my blood had been building a secret life together behind my back. I didn't confront them right away. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was denial. For 3 days, I walked through the apartment like a ghost, pretending everything was fine, while inside, I was burning alive. Emma would kiss my cheek, ask me about dinner, laugh at the TV, while her phone buzzed in her pocket with my brother's name lighting up the screen. On the 4th day, I couldn't hold it anymore. I invited my brother over under the excuse of helping me fix a shelf. When he walked in, Emma froze. He froze, and I knew instantly that silence could confess louder than any words. I placed Emma's phone on the table, open to their messages. The color drained from her face, and my brother's fists clenched at his sides. No one spoke for what felt like years. Finally, I said the words I'd been rehearsing in my head. "How long?" Emma started crying, but it wasn't the kind of crying that begged for forgiveness. It was the kind that knew forgiveness wasn't coming. My brother muttered something about not meaning for it to happen, about feelings being complicated. But betrayal isn't complicated, it's simple. It's a choice, and they had both chosen. The days that followed were worse than the discovery itself. Family gatherings shattered. My parents tried to stay neutral, as if neutrality was possible when one child had gutted the other. Friends I'd known since high school whispered behind my back, some taking sides, others disappearing completely. And Emma acted like she was the victim, as if my anger was cruelty and my silence was abuse. But here's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't just break your heart. It rewires your brain. Suddenly, every memory you's tainted. Every laugh you shared feels fake. Every promise they made echoes like a lie. I started questioning myself. Was I not enough? Did I miss the signs because I didn't want to see them? Did love make me blind, or did it make me stupid? The worst part wasn't losing Emma. It wasn't even losing my brother. It was losing the version of myself that believed in forever. Weeks turned into months, and though the apartment was quieter, my head was louder than ever. I'd wake up at night expecting to hear Emma breathing beside me, only to remember the truth and feel that knife twist all over again. I tried deleting photos, blocking numbers, throwing away gifts, but nothing could erase the ghost of what they did. And then, Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, I saw them together at a cafe downtown where Emma and I used to go every Sunday. They looked comfortable, familiar, like they'd replaced me with each other seamlessly without missing a beat. That was the moment I realized something. Betrayal doesn't end when you catch them. It doesn't end when you cut ties. It ends when you stop letting their choices define you. I won't lie to you. It took time. It took therapy sessions where I sat in silence for 40 minutes because words couldn't escape my throat. It took long walks at night where I'd replay everything in my head until the air felt thin. I started writing letters I never sent, pouring out every word I couldn't say to their faces. I filled notebooks with anger, grief, and eventually something that looked like acceptance. And here's what I learned. Betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from the people you trust most. But the scars it leaves are proof that you survived something meant to destroy you. If you've ever been betrayed by a lover, a friend, a family member, you know the hollow ache it leaves. You know how it makes you question everyone, even yourself. But I promise you this, surviving betrayal makes you sharper, stronger, and eventually free. Because betrayal is not the end of your story. It's just the part where the villain reveals themselves. What comes next? That's up to you. And maybe that's why you're still here listening. Maybe part of you has lived the story, too. Maybe part of you is still living it right now. If that's true, then I want to leave you with something powerful. Don't just let the story end when the video stops. Share it, not for me, but for the version of someone out there who is right now questioning their worth because of another person's betrayal. Share it so they know they're not alone. Share it so they can see what betrayal really means. Not an ending, but a beginning.